Hey Leo, welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of July 2020. Now, if this is your first time catching one of my videos, I do invite you to subscribe, and I want to welcome you because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I will be using a new deck. This is called the Groovy Weight Tarot. It's a lot of fun. It's a really, cute kind of retro deck, and I think you're going to enjoy the vibe of me using it this month. For clarifiers, I will use my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck, as I always do. And then, Leo, I will close out your reading with a Goddess Power Oracle card. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I hope you are doing well, Leo. I know it's been a challenge for a lot of us. And what I can say is that you are going to be making progress in your own way, okay? I don't want you to compare yourself or your journey with anyone else's. You are on your own unique path, and you are going to be making strides. You are going to see improvements, and you're going to see a lot of positive things happening. But again, it's going to be very unique and very specific to you and to what it is that you're dealing with. So what do we need to know for the sign of Leo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of July 2020? What do we need to know for the sign of Leo? Okay. All right, Leo. So as we move into the month of July, Leo, I can say you're just going to have to really pay attention. Pay attention to what is showing up, pay attention to what you feel, and pay attention to any information, anything that's coming your way. Let me make sure we are all in frame here. Okay. So you can see we have a lot of reversals here, but I don't want you to assume the worst, because I know a lot of people do, and it's kind of frustrating, because just because a card shows up in reverse, it doesn't mean that it's a negative connotation. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on. Devil Reverse. Now this is a very positive card in the reverse position, because this talks about you being released from any type of unhealthy attachments. This means that you are on the road to recovery. You are getting over addictions. You are healing from toxic things that were just not serving you. So this is very, very good. This is a very positive card to start off the first week of July. We also have here, this is the Five of Swords in reverse. This means that communication is actually improving for you as it relates to things, in relation to your money, your finances, your work, your business, your career. This means that you're not having to make sacrifices, or you're not having to kind of lose out when you're negotiating. This means that, the conversations are going well. You're feeling like you're not winning at all costs or at the sacrifice of something else. This is very good. So keep your communication flowing, keep your heart and your mind open to new ideas and to new connections and things that will be showing up as we move into this new month. Now, this is a card that is unique to this deck. This is Smokey the Bear. He is in the reverse position. Now, this card is very special because when it shows up, it talks about where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So we have to really pay attention to what's going on. Like I said, keep your eyes and ears open, because things are showing up. Things are starting to happen. You're starting to get new information. You're starting to get, maybe some signs about things. Maybe you're starting to get some feedback on certain things. Pay attention to that, okay? And don't ignore it. This is something where it talks about paying attention to the warnings, paying attention to the signs that show up, whether this be red flags, whether it be something, where you're just kind of feeling like, I can't figure this out, but I know it doesn't look good, or I can't figure this out, but it could be very good. You're going to have to judge for yourself depending on your own unique circumstances. But again, this is all about paying attention to the signs that are showing up for you in this first week of July, especially as it pertains to your work and to your money. Now, we also have the Six of Wands here in the reverse. This is a card about pageantry, being recognized. This sometimes shows up too when you're not getting credit, when the credit is rightfully yours. Okay, sometimes you're not being acknowledged. Sometimes you're not being shown, the right, courtesy and the right credibility for something that you've done or something, an idea you had or something else. I don't want you to feel like this is going to necessarily be a setback, okay? It could be disappointing, could be very frustrating even because you can't control it, or someone literally could be, taking away your spotlight, taking away your shine. I just want you to know, Leo, that you can use this as an opportunity to maybe move out and move on your own way, kind of branch out into your own thing, your own direction. And I'm feeling like that's going to be something that you're considering, and you may be going back and forth on it because we do have the Three of Wands here in reverse, and this tells me that there's a lot of indecision. There's a lot of it's almost like a self-imposed confusion. It's like you're not confused, you just haven't solidified a concrete decision for yourself. Now, this is what's going to be showing up throughout the first week of July. But at the same time, like I said, you're unique and your journey is very different for you, Leo. You have to pay attention to the progress that you're making. However, that shows up, or however that feels for you. Don't prejudge, but at the same time, don't, ignore something that could be very useful to you either now or in the near future. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Leo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? For the month of July 2020, what do we need to know for the sign of Leo? What do we need to know for the sign of Leo? All right, we got two cards here. Okay. Now, you've got some interesting energies going on here. We have the Hangman Reverse, Lovers upright, Justice Reverse, Tower upright, Magician, and the Star card both in the reverse. Now, Hangman Reverse talks about you moving forward. You're not being stuck. You're not being held back. You're being very proactive. This is also, too, when you have a lot of clarity. This card shows up when you finally get the clarity you need to move forward. Or sometimes it shows up when you have been validated in some way. It's like, you were hesitating to kind of take this risk, or you were kind of hesitating to go in this direction, and then something or someone shows up and validates that yes, this is the right thing for you to do, and you feel validated, and then you start taking action and you start making things happen. Now, we also have the Lovers card. This is a divine union of some way, shape or form. Could be a personal relationship, could be your dream job. It could be a mentor, a coach. It could be someone showing up for you. Whatever the case may be, you're about to be divinely connected with someone who can truly change your life. That is, if that is what you are seeking. It's also a divine connection as it relates to your work. You're probably going to start moving into an area of work, whether that be a new job, a new department, or a whole new industry. You're going to be moving into a new area as it relates to your work. And this is something that you have been, maybe even dreaming or hoping or praying for so long. Just get ready, because when someone or something shows up, you're going to feel like instinctually led to this, and you are going to know, okay, yes, this is perfect timing. This is the right person. This is the right company. Now we also have the Justice card here in the reverse position. Now Justice talks about decisions being made. Usually when I see this card, that is a decision being made and you have no control, you have no input, and you have no say or influence on the outcome. Now, this is something that you're going to have to either roll with, or you can choose to remove yourself from the situation in some way, if that's even possible. But Justice says, hey, someone's going to make a decision. Now, usually this shows up as a work-related thing or sometimes a court-related issue. Just know that there's a decision being made and you have no influence or control over the outcome. Now, we have the Tower card here. The Tower card is all about tearing something down, literally breaking something down, so we can make a way for new, better, stronger, more proficient, something different, something that needed to be changed, and for whatever reason, it just, things just didn't change. Well, now you're going to be in a position to where it's going to be a forced change, but it's going to be a change for the better. And I can say that because I see these two cards here. Now, things are going to feel a little shaky. Things are going to feel very, very shifty, very uncertain, very unstable. But you can trust that the changes that are going to be either forced upon you or that you're going to have to make unwillingly are going to work out for your greater good and for your higher benefit. The Magician talks about you being able to kind of manipulate things, and you have all the tools and the talents you need to make things happen. It may be tough, though. It may be tough at first. The Star card is also another positive card. This talks about, sometimes the Star really is just about, sometimes it's about celebrity, but I'm feeling like in this case, the Star card means that things are going to get better. It's probably going to take some time. It's probably going to take some work. But as we move through July, especially that second week, you're going to see that little things start falling into place. Little things start going in a positive direction. You may have felt hopeless, lost, frustrated, discouraged. Excuse me, but the Star card tells us do not lose hope. Do not give up. Stay strong, because good things are coming your way. It may not seem like it at first, and it may take a while, or it may be to a lesser degree than what you had hoped, but it doesn't mean that the show is over. It doesn't mean that things are not happening for you. So I want you to kind of see, Leo, you have a lot of, it's almost like purging to do. You have a lot of growth. You're making breakthroughs, you're having things just kind of clear the way for something new and something different. And I want you to kind of embrace that, because I think that's where you're going to find your most strength. That's where you're going to find the answers that you've been seeking. And that's where you're going to see where you can experience the most growth. So what else do we need to know? Oops. Okay, for the sign of Leo, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of July 2020. All right, Leo, as we move into the second half of July, you are going to be feeling very, very emotional. But the good thing is, feeling like this one needs to be in our reading here. But the good thing is that these emotions are probably going to guide you in the way that you need to go, okay? The King of Cups is a highly integrity integrity filled person, someone who uses their emotions in the most positive and beneficial ways. It's not someone who loses emotional control, quite the opposite. The King of Cups is someone who has a very good grasp on his or her emotions and uses them to fuel positive behavior. So you may be feeling very strong emotionally about something, about work, about a job, about a business decision, but you're using that to your advantage because you trust that you are still in control, and even though you may have very strong feelings about something, it's not going to cloud your judgment. It's not going to kind of get you overwhelmed and get you frustrated and have you reacting instead of responding. Now we have the Devil card here. Now remember, we saw the Devil card. The Devil card was the very first card in your spread for this month. And the Devil card talks about, again, unhealthy attachments, maybe some addictions, maybe something that we need to work on and we need to change. So this could be something that's recurring, right? Like maybe you have something that you're working through, something you're working through to release or to change or to overcome or to heal from. So I think this is something that you need to keep in your awareness. As a matter of fact, Leo, I don't think this is something you're not aware of. I'm getting the strong sense that you know what this, quote, inner demon is that you're battling, and you are taking the steps to work through it. Now, we have the Hierophant right next to that card, and this could be, maybe you're tapping into your spiritual support system, whether that be church, whether that be a mentor or a counselor, a partner, whatever the case may be. You are going to have that emotional and spiritual support that you need in order to move forward. Now, just be careful because we have the Eight of Swords here, and the Eight of Swords talks about self-limiting beliefs. What is your perception of the situation? Are you seeing things from a filter that doesn't allow you to truly appreciate all the opportunities and all the different options you have before you? This is when you kind of say, oh, I can only do this, or oh, I can't do that. Well, really re-examine the situation, evaluate it from every possible angle, and really kind of sit with it and say, hey, am I really being held back by my own beliefs? Is it true that something is blocking me from the goal that I'm trying to achieve, or the direction I want to go? Or is that, something that I have created because of fear, or maybe the unknown, or maybe just because you've never done it before, so this is something new? Really tap into that and really explore it and sit with it and see what shows up. Now, we've got two very positive cards. So once we hit the second half of July, again, like I said, things are going to feel a little shaky, but look what's coming up for you. We have the Ace of Cups, and then we have the Fool card. So these are two brand new journeys, brand new adventures that you have coming your way. The Ace of Cups talks about some type of a new venture that has an emotional or sentimental nature to it. This could be a new relationship. It could also be the start of a new passion project that starts, taking off right away, and you start seeing results, and you start seeing profits, and you start seeing sales right away. The Fool, again, talks about you're going on a new adventure. You're starting a new journey. This is very exciting because you don't know what to expect, but you're going to trust the process, and you know that you totally are where you are supposed to be because it just feels right. It's not only feeding your pockets, but it's feeding your soul. It's also stimulating your mental abilities, and so you're starting to come up with ideas that are juicy, that are just kind of really making you excited. So get ready for this new journey and this new, adventure that you're going on, because you're going to start seeing signs of it as we move into the second week of July. All right, Leo, let's see what else is showing up for you. Oh, nice. What else do we need to know for the sign of Leo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of July 2020? All right, here we go. I can tell you with no hesitation that the last week of July is going to be a powerful one for you. It's going to be a very positive, cha-ching money time for you, Leo. We have the Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the Chariot all in the upright position. Knight of Pentacles talks about financial support coming your way. If you are looking for, I don't even want to say a bailout, but I'm feeling like if you've applied for a loan or if you have asked for financial support in some way, that will be showing up, and you're probably going to start seeing that come into your existence or into your reality once we hit that 4th week of July. We also have the Queen of Cups here. Now, she is someone quite the opposite from the King. She's very stern and she's not very emotional. She's someone who, very much kind of, I don't want to say hides her emotion, but someone who doesn't use emotion as a gauge of whether or not what they should and should not do. It's like she looks at the numbers, she looks at the maps, she looks at the goals, she looks at the habits and the practices and the steps involved. And so her emotions do not cloud her judgment in any way. And I have a feeling, Leo, that once we get towards the end of July, you kind of move past the emotional lens and you go right back into the practical lens, and you start seeing things not from an emotional perspective, but from a more logical, direct, and practical perspective. And this is good because look what happens. You've got Ace of Pentacles here, which means you've got some new money coming your way. You've got new businesses coming your way, maybe new customers, maybe new clients. Whatever it is, you've got some new money flow coming to you. And this is very exciting because it could be something of a new project, or it could just be maybe something that you're doing different is starting to show up and starting to pay off, and you're starting to see those financial results because of it. We also have the Page of Swords here. The Page of Swords talks about you getting a message of something being eliminated, but it's going to be something very positive. Usually I see this sometimes when there's changes in the workplace. So let's say some positions were eliminated in your workplace. So now that creates an opportunity for you to have a, pay raise. You could have a new title, more responsibility, more compensation. Whatever the case is, you're going to get some good news as a result of something being eliminated, something being cut off, something being taken away. So when something is removed, it's not always negative. Sometimes that works out in a very positive and powerful way. Finally, we have the Chariot here, and this talks about things moving quite quickly. Things were moving slow here in that 2nd week of July, while you're starting to get settled in and you're starting to figure things out. But as we move towards that 2nd half of July, the pace really starts picking up, and you're going to have to keep up, Leo. You're going to have to kind of figure out, how you're going to stay on for the ride, because the ride is starting whether you're ready for it or not. Sometimes the Chariot shows up too when you've got several things all taking off at once, right? You could have things happening at work, but then your side hustle is starting to take off. Sometimes it could be, you kind of started 3 businesses and none of them were taking off, and then all of a sudden all of them start doing really, really well. So whatever the case may be, this is very, very good. This is something that's going to benefit you, and it's going to be something that's pretty strong, that takes you into the next month, that takes you into August, with good results, with good things happening, with you just trying to adjust because you got to keep up. And you're going to figure it out. So get ready, Leo. Just giving you a heads up on that. So overall, July is going to be I want to say it's going to feel, like I said, a little shifty, the first half. But once we get into the second half, that's when things really start coming together. Things really start, the dots start connecting, the people start showing up, we start getting the support and the things and the information we need, and it really just allows us to take off and to kind of move in a really good direction. All right, Leo, let me go ahead and close out your reading with a Goddess Power Oracle card. This is a beautiful deck. And let's see what we get here. Spider Woman. This is card number 48. And this is all about co-creation. All right. I definitely can see that is showing up here in your reading, especially when we talk about you getting the support that you need. And also, where was that Lover's card? Here it is. The Lover's card, that divine union, that divine connection, where things just kind of, you know, spontaneously come together and they work out. So, like I said, get ready for that, Leo, because you definitely have that theme, that energy, that underlying motivation, I guess would be the word. You definitely have that going for you in July. Okay, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. And if you would like to connect with me for a private reading, I will have that information linked for you in the description as well. All right, Leo, thank you so much for spending this time with me. We will do it all again next month.